The Chargers don't win this game because the Vikings beat the Vikings.
Is screw the Broncos for beating the Cowboys.
Welcome back, everyone, to the A.D.D. show, where we're not always right, but we're never wrong. As always, I'm Mark.
And I'm Hans, and welcome back, everybody. It's been 2 weeks since you guys have heard from us. Schedules didn't align last time, and, life just happened, so we're here. We are in, I don't know, what week are we in, 9?
10.
Wow, week 10. So, yeah, because we weren't here for week 9, and we have, going to go over some games from last week, I'm sure, to start. A lot of upsets last week. Very interesting week. Go into this week's games, then we'll do the fantasy stuff towards the end. So, Mark, how are we doing tonight?
All right. I think a lot of teams came out flat.
Yeah.
Very, very, very flat. And I don't understand how you can against some of the opponents that you were playing. In the two teams that I'm going to talk about real quick the most is Buffalo and Dallas. Mm-hmm. Buffalo, you don't lose 9-6 to the Jaguars. You don't. Whether it's home, away, in London, I don't care. No. You don't do that. And Buffalo looked lost. They sort of looked like, and I want to talk about Kansas City real quick before we get into our picks, and I want to talk a little bit about Dallas. And I'm going to tell you the thing about Dallas that I've said all along. The talent is there. Okay, I will say that. I was wrong at the beginning of the season. I was big on saying we overrated the players. When are we going to start saying that the players that aren't as good as what we're evaluating them as? This year they came out on fire. They're on fire. You come out of the bye and you lay an egg. And not just an egg. Like, that was ugly against a team that's not very good offensively, and you made them look good offensively. Buffalo looked like they didn't know how to play offense. And Kansas City doesn't look like they know how to play offense anymore. And so for me, the concerning thing is Buffalo and Kansas City are not making adjustments. They're not. Teams are daring them to dink and dunk down the field, and they're not doing it.
No.
And it's so frustrating to me to watch one of their games because they get impatient. Mm-hmm. Either it's the offensive coordinator, the head coach, or it's the quarterback. And the team gets impatient, and they throw those 20, 30, 40-yard bombs that they try to get the big play and score in 3 plays. You know what? Eat clock. Throw the ball, 10 yards, 5 yards, 10 yards. They're daring you to do it, and it's there. It's open. And yet they're still forcing it downfield and making a lot of mistakes and holding the ball too long, and it's just it's not working. Dallas came out so unprepared after the bye. Like, this isn't like you played 9 weeks in a row and you're tired.
Well, this wasn't after the bye.
No, this was after
the
bye.
2 games after the bye.
Who was their game after the bye?
Was it the Vikings?
No. The Vikings was before their bye.
So we had a bye and then this. Because Dak was out, and then he was out again for this game. No, he was out the week after the bye. Yeah.
So this is the second game after.
Yes.
But
he didn't play last week.
You came out so unprepared.
Yeah.
And your coach is going to kill you.
Yeah.
Your coach is going to call. And this was the week where you had the Packers without Rodgers. Okay. You had Arizona without Murray. The Buccaneers didn't play. And the Buccaneers had lost to the Saints right before their bye week. Mm-hmm. This was a chance for Dallas to get some of the tiebreakers that they needed. And you go and you lay an egg to an AFC team. That's a bonus for Dallas in the long run because then tiebreakers don't come into the equation there. But that you don't lay an egg. And then Kansas City scoring 13 points against a Aaron Rodgers-less Packer team. Mm-hmm. I don't get it. This has to be why Bieniemy hasn't gotten a job.
Yeah, I said this a few weeks ago. Well, it was about 2 weeks ago. I was talking to a friend of mine, and to me, I don't understand the whole Bieniemy thing. People on this Bieniemy kick that he's not getting a job for whatever specific reasoning. Teams came out and said they don't like his scheme. He's bad at interviewing. Whatever the reason is, the world has a different opinion of why he's not getting a job. Look at this offense right now. Andy Reid is not calling plays. He said that at the beginning of the year. Bieniemy's calling plays. Mahomes is calling plays. At some point, yes, Mahomes is good. I mean, we know he's talented. But at some point, these other teams are starting to figure it out. And you're playing flat. This is the thing. And I want to say Dallas real quick. And Dallas played bad, okay? My mindset is onto the Falcons. It was bad. You came out flat. You ran at 5 yards. You ran at 3 yards. And then you threw it incompletion. That game only had 4 tipped passes from the defense, okay? 4. There was 11 drops in that game. Nobody was catching the ball. The only one who didn't, Amari Cooper. Everything you did wrong, and then, I get it, garbage time. You scored 16 points in 2 minutes. Made it 30-16, didn't look as bad. The point is you start to figure it out at some point, which they didn't. But that was one game. This has been the Chiefs all year.
Right, but here's the thing. So Logan, a friend of ours, and he's been on the show, said many times the Buccaneers figured out how to play Mahomes.
Yeah.
And all of us poo-pooed him on that.
Yeah.
We all did. We all said, no, the offensive line wasn't there. If the offensive line was there, blah, 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 all this stuff. You know what teams are doing against them? They're playing a deep cover 2.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's all teams are doing. And that's all the Jaguars did against Buffalo on Sunday.
Yep.
They played a deep cover 2 and said, beat us in the middle.
Yeah.
Beat us running the ball and beat us in the middle with those intermediate 5-6 yard routes.
And that's the problem with Dallas is teams are doing the same thing, taking it away, but you have all the weapons. You have the running back. You have the backup running back. Everything you called, whether it was Kellen Moore, who I know calls the plays. It doesn't matter who it is. Even defensively, everything was out of focus. The whole thing, this is not an excuse, but if we look at the Bills and the Cowboys, I think their games were a different testament than the Chiefs have been all year. The Chiefs have looked like this flat every single week.
Yes, I will say the Chiefs are on a different level than the Cowboys.
But these 2 games, I will say this real quick, the Bills and Dallas, they need to, I can't say how Jerry Jones said, on to the Falcons. You need to worry about this because you want to hope this doesn't continue. We said it last week. Again, Dak came out and everybody came out saying Dak is healthy. I believe them he's healthy because he didn't look like he wasn't with his legs. But something wasn't right. 3 weeks since you played, Zeke looked rusty. You're dropping balls. Micah Parsons didn't look good. Diggs was getting burnt. What was going on? And it was the Broncos.
Right. And
without Von Miller.
And that's what it is. And it's who the Bills and the Cowboys lost to.
Yeah. I think the Jaguars are a little worse than the Broncos are, but still, it doesn't matter. You don't lose these games.
And so it's concerning and it's eye-opening because both the Bills and the Cowboys could have made huge steps in tiebreakers and getting home field throughout the playoffs. Just by winning last week, and they didn't. And
this is the other thing I will say too, and I said it last week or 2 weeks ago on the podcast. Dallas was on a hot streak, right? Dallas is on a 6-game win streak till they lost that. You can't expect every team, same thing with the Arizona Cardinals, and I said it the week they lost. At some point, you're going to get that hiccup, and I hope this was Dallas's to go, anybody can beat us, because they may think they're unbeatable, and now we see they're not.
Right, but it's how you lost.
Yes. It was bad.
And that's the thing. So it's how... It's even how the Chiefs won.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so it's the Chiefs won last week, and I don't consider that a victory. Now it's how you lost. You looked dead. You looked like a bad football. And both teams looked like bad football teams.
This is what I hate most, and it's where all 52 players come into play. You start the game with the ball first. You go 3 and out. Then you don't stop the Broncos. You get the ball back. You get one drive, 4, 5, 6, 7 plays, you have to punt. Then they score. Now you're down 14-0. Now you're in panic, throw the ball mode. It tipped off CeeDee Lamb's hands, pick 6.
Yeah.
See, now you're at the part where now you didn't go back to the run. Yes, you're down 14. Get Zeke the ball. And they never once adjusted that whole game. I watched half of it and watched the second half on the app, and I was like, this is so boneheaded. And I was like, they can't do this next week because if they think they are one of the best teams in the division and the league, you can't play like this. So I hope it was just a hiccup. Same thing with the Bills. The Bills are 5-3 right now. Think about that.
Right. And
that's not a good record in the AFC.
Well, in the AFC it is a good record.
Pretty bad.
But the AFC, you have 2 divisions where no team's under 500.
Yep.
You have a division where there's only one team over 500, and then you have another division where 2 teams are over 500, and the last 2 teams have 3 wins.
But a lot of them have
combined.
the 4 or 5 wins total leading the division, not the 7-8 win
Right.
type that NFC has.
But it's interesting. Now, the team that's leading in the AFC is playing tonight.
Yep.
The Ravens versus the Dolphins. So we'll segue into our picks. I don't know if you have anything more to say on that topic at all. But
The Rams last week.
the Rams last week, yes.
That was a big one.
Here's the thing. Tennessee came out and said, we aren't just Derrick Henry.
Oh, and I 100% agree with that.
And so that was a statement game for the Titans. Now, it's all dependent on what you do this week.
Yeah.
Because that week is we're coming together, listen to what everybody's saying. They're saying we're done. Let's do this. Now, the Rams, it's concerning to me because the Rams, Stafford didn't look healthy. And I know he was going in with a stiff back. And anybody that has a back problem knows that if you have a stiff back, it's hard to do
when
anything.
you throw, it uses your entire back. It's like a golf swing. So,
But the Rams didn't look good. And I'm concerned because today they brought in OBJ.
Yeah.
That's not somebody I bring into this locker room. I'm sorry. OBJ has proven over and over and over again he's not a team guy. He's a me guy. And I'm not saying he's going to go in and demand the ball, but he doesn't give 2 shits about anybody on this team.
No.
And this team is a team that is built on team working together.
And some of the guys they've had and drafted over the last few years with Van Jefferson and Robert Woods and I always forget the other guy's name, Cooper Kupp. They have those 3. Like, you have 3 great wide receivers that are working out wonderful. Like, you don't really have any.
I think it's a panic move.
I think it's a panic move
to keep them away from Green Bay. Keep
the other
them away
option
from,
you could do is you have running back help is just try to acquire a better running back. That's really one of your weak spots. But in general, that was a panic move. I agree. I saw them sign him and it's like, why? And I said it in the group today. For your 3rd, maybe 4th wide receiver. Like, even my Dallas group talked about him. I'm like, he's not even better than Cedric Wilson, our 4th wide receiver. Why would you sign him?
And, I know people are all about OBJ. He hasn't had a good quarterback. He hasn't had this. He hasn't had that. He hasn't been on the field. He's the maybe top 30 wide receivers in the league. Maybe. I don't even put him there probably.
No.
I'd probably put a lot more people ahead of him. And I'm not going to take anything away from what he did in the beginning of his career.
Yeah.
He was a stud. But it's not the beginning of his career. And this guy has talked his way out of 2 different teams.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry I've never liked him. I never have. I will never discredit his talent when he was with the Giants in the beginning. I have an argument now that he's not a top 20, 30 wide receiver. The whole time he's been with
the Browns, he hasn't even been the best wide receiver on his team.
And lose me that Baker isn't a good enough quarterback.
He had Eli Manning. Baker's not any better.
Baker was throwing for 4,000 yards last year without him. Baker lit up the Bengals last week without him. And
250 yards, 3 TDs, 3 interceptions every game. Eli Manning is not any better than Baker Mayfield was.
So it's I don't understand the signing. Also, I don't understand Carolina bringing in Cam.
Yeah, I don't really understand that
I don't
one.
understand that one. Cam proved last year he can't throw. And I get it. You don't really have to throw when you have McCaffrey.
I mean, him and McCaffrey together,
dink and dunk to McCaffrey all day, which fantasy-wise, hey, I just traded for McCaffrey. Go for it.
Till he gets hurt again.
But I don't understand that signing either. So there was a couple things that happened today. Today's Thursday, right before the Thursday night game. And that I scratched my head like, why now?
Yeah.
That's where I'm at, and I just don't understand the Carolina signing of Cam.
Well, this is what bothers me too, is they said, well, he's technically the 33rd best quarterback available, right? Like 32 starting quarterbacks than the number 1. I'm like, I don't even put him there. There's quarterbacks that can throw the ball better than he can that are free agents. I don't. I'd be calling Phillip Rivers before I called Cam Newton.
No, no. At least, I mean, I don't know about that one, but it's
a bit of a stretch. Yeah. But you know what I mean? Like, I get the familiarity.
Call the Bears for Dalton. Call the Bears for Foles. But I know the trade deadline's already passed. But but all right. So
let's go
tonight. It's a bad game. It's Ravens Dolphins. I want to say this: the Ravens. I don't know how they win. I don't, but they win.
Yeah.
And they find a way.
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson is Bugs Bunny. Okay, now you're not as old as I am, obviously, and so I don't know if you understand the reference. I don't know if you understand Looney Tunes.
I watched Looney Tunes.
But Bugs Bunny, it's, there was a clip of a cartoon where Bugs Bunny was playing against, like, say the Yankees, and it was Bugs Bunny, and every single player on his team was hurt. So Bugs Bunny was in left, Bugs Bunny in right, Bugs Bunny in center, and it's like he's doing everything around the field, and Bugs Bunny wins. That's what Lamar Jackson is doing right now. He's 80%, if not more, of their offense.
I think it was like 80. He was like 97 point something last week.
It was ridiculous. He had like 400 and something total yards.
He's Madden, man.
And so they find a way to win, and I don't know how they do it, because I don't see it in their roster and I don't see it in the gameplay. That being said, the Dolphins are very, very bad.
Yes.
So the Ravens are going to win tonight, and they are going to take command of the AFC by winning tonight. Well, now the rest of their schedule for the rest of the season, besides they play the worst team that they play the rest of the way is the Bears, which isn't technically, I don't feel, an easy game, but their schedule going forward is very tough.
Yeah.
But they're going to take a commanding lead in the AFC by winning tonight.
Will they be tied with the Titans? Titans are 7-2.
Right, but
so they'd be tied. But yeah,
they have. Didn't they beat the Titans?
I think they might have. I think you're right. I don't remember.
Tiebreaker there, they beat the Titans. So I have the Ravens. I don't think it's going to be a pretty game.
No.
Especially on 4 days rest for both these teams. But I don't see it being a pretty game. But I see the Ravens winning this game.
Yeah, I have the Ravens winning too. I will say this. I won't agree with you because we do go hard on the Ravens. And the reason we go hard on the Ravens, part of it, yes, has the disdain for being Marylanders like us. I know you're not from here, but you're a Marylander now. And us not liking the Ravens because all they do is talk about the Ravens. The reason I don't like the Ravens is because they are one sprained ankle from losing every game. They are so close. You cannot have your whole team be Lamar because if he has that one game, like one Dak Prescott game last week, one Josh Allen game, just one game where you're not a superstar, you lose. And in the playoffs is when this happens.
Yes.
And the problem is he is a James Harden. He is a regular season player. And when the playoffs start, he loses. I expect him to win this game. I expect him to have 13, 14 wins getting into the playoffs. But when they play the Titans, it'll be a different story a second time. So Ravens win because the Dolphins are just atrocious.
Yes.
And unfortunately, I love their coach, but he's on the hot seat.
Oh, he's getting fired.
100%.
He's getting fired. You can't go from a 10-win team, have pretty much the same team coming back, and barely have 2 wins.
Because I think they're better off with the quarterback they're starting over 2 anyways. Let's be honest.
It's
bad. So what we got?
Next game is a very good game, I feel, because it's Falcons-Cowboys. Falcons are playing really well. I think they figured out who they are technically. They don't have. I mean, Cordell Patterson has come out of his shell. He is a stud. He's very talented. He's always been talented.
Yeah.
This is the first year I feel that teams have technically used him the way he's supposed to be used. And that means at running back, at wide receiver, just throw him wherever you want to put him.
It reminds me a lot of about 5 or 6 years ago. Yeah, I'm going to use a Homer reference here, but when the Rams had Tavon Austin, they used him at running back, they used him at wide receiver. He threw the ball a couple times,
but he was bigger.
But I would say this Cordell Patterson's a lot bigger, nowhere near as fast, but he's a lot bigger, and he just handles the ball a lot better. Obviously, less injury prone. I'll let you keep going though. But you're right. He's incredible.
Coming off the week that the Cowboys just had, it's tough to go into Dallas and play Dallas. Just in general, going into Dallas to play Dallas. That's a tough stadium to play in. If Dallas has any pride, they come out and put a boot in their ass. But I think it's going to be a lot closer than people think. You guys don't have a kicker. And I think that's going to come back to haunt you sooner or later. I don't know who you signed.
Liram Hajarilihilir. That's seriously his name. No, he played for the Rams practice squad. We had him in preseason and cut him for Greg Zuerlein, obviously. But he doesn't make anything within 30 yards. He only makes 50 pluses.
Okay.
Seriously. Like, he can't kick short at all.
So I think this is going to be closer than what people think. I am picking the Cowboys to win this game. I honestly do not. This isn't a shot at Dallas. It's just I want to make sure this is a statement game for Dallas. Yeah. If Dallas loses this game, comes out flat in this game, all of a sudden the Dallas haters, the narrative comes out, pretenders. We knew they couldn't do it. Stephen A. Smith go on there laughing, saying, I knew they were stupid. I knew they couldn't do it. And even though 2 weeks ago he said that they were the best team in the NFC.
He only did that so that when this happened, he could do that.
And so I do pick Dallas, but this is a statement game for Dallas because this is a game you have to, not have to win, but you should win.
Yeah.
You're at home. You're playing an inferior opponent. Yeah. And I feel that they will win, but it's interesting only because of how they played last week.
Yeah. No, I get it. I think for me, hold on a quick second. Something popped up on the screen here. I don't want it to interrupt us. I think for me, and I won't spend too much time on the Cowboys, I think they're going to win this game. They're the better team. Last week, Gallup was supposed to play, didn't play. Tyron Smith was out last week, potentially out again this week. Very quick movement to a practice squad player into a spot. I'm not saying that's why we let the Broncos put 40 on us. That's not why. But pieces like that at the last minute don't help. The Falcons are playing good football. I want to go back to that. The Falcons playing good football. They figured it out. Cordell Patterson's figured it out. Their wide receivers are playing good. Their defense is still pretty bad. But here's my thing about the Cowboys is when the Cowboys have games like that, they tend to play really good the week after, especially at home. I don't think that's going to happen again. I think they have the roster to do it. I think they have 3-4 wide receivers, potentially better than what the Falcons are playing with. Dalton Schultz is a weapon. You have 2 great running backs. I don't see them playing like this in back-to-back weeks. Diggs got burnt. I get it. It didn't look good. But part of me knows that if Dallas doesn't win this game, they're going to fall to 6-3. Like you said, the haters. The problem with the haters is their teams don't even have 6 wins, even close to it. The worst part is they love to see Dallas lose, and I'm okay with that. It's fine. They came out last week. Oh, they lost the game. Like, they went from 6-1 to 6-2. Calm down. They have a long way to go for anyone in the division to get anywhere near them right now. Yeah. We have a 6-game lead pretty much on everyone else. So the Cowboys need to win this game to take that commanding lead, and this is the game to do it. Because after this, our schedule gets incredibly easier too. I think we only have 1 team left with a winning record for the rest of the year. So this is where you have to make that statement, win this game, and prove that last week you just came out flat and unprepared, and every team gets one every year. You guys had one a few weeks ago. Every team gets 1 game.
And last week.
It was last week. You get 1 game, 2 games, potentially where you come out completely flat. But in the postseason in December, you cannot do that in January. Yeah. You can't do it. So I got Cowboys winning. I think it'll be closer than people think too.
All right. Saints-Titans.
Ooh.
It's at Tennessee. Mm-hmm. Kamara's might not play.
I don't think he is playing.
I think they're leaning towards not playing him. Simeon is their quarterback. They don't have any wide receivers.
Who's their backup to
Hill?
Running back.
Hill?
Justice Hill?
Maybe. Oh, no, they signed Ingram.
Yeah, they signed Ingram back.
Or they traded for Ingram.
Ingram, so yeah.
Does he scare you at this point in his career? Titans without... Now, here's the thing. I love the Saints' defense. I love their corners. Mm-hmm. This is going to be a weird game for me because I don't think the Saints are going to score any points. But I think the Titans are going to struggle also because Adrian Peterson isn't the answer.
No.
I'm sorry. He's not the answer to...
But when he was with Detroit, he put up enough to handle it, and I think it helps because Derrick Henry didn't catch the ball anyways, and neither does Peterson. Yeah. I could see Peterson having 20 carries for 80 yards.
Okay. I think that's going to be...
You think that's more? I mean, he had multiple 100-yard games with Detroit last year.
He's not sniffing 100 yards.
You don't think so?
No.
I said 80. I didn't say 100.
All right, he's not sniffing 80.
Okay. You want to make a bet?
I'm going to say he's under 50.
I'm going to say he's over 50.
Okay.
Deal.
All right. I got the Titans winning. I think the Titans defensively will shut this team down, especially without Kamara and without Winston. Mm-hmm. And I just think the Titans are a better team. And the Titans still, again, have something to prove. That, yes, we lost our best player, but there's still players here.
I have the Titans winning this game because the Saints are beat up. Quarterback-wise, they're beat up. They don't have any weapons. Their defense is extremely talented. But there is 2 things to know about this game. These 2 defenses are wildly underrated.
Yes.
The Titans defense, and I said it earlier in the year. I remember saying it in preseason. The Titans defense needs a little bit of time to get there, but they are one of the best defense in the entire AFC. They are fast. They remind me a lot of I'm trying to remember who I thought of it earlier. They remind me a lot of the Buccaneers last year. That's who I was thinking of. They're fast in the linebackers. Their corners are locked down. They're playing well. Derrick Henry being there would help. I get he's going to be probably out till probably the playoffs, right?
If not longer.
If not longer. They just need to hold out long enough with what they have and take a commanding lead here right now, because it would give them a lead of, where are the Colts at? They have a 3-game lead on the Colts right now. So I got the Titans winning this game because I think they're just better off, an all-around better team. They have the better weapons. The Saints are just, they're 5-3. But if you think about it with the Saints, man, even when they were healthy, the Saints don't feel like 5-3, do they?
No.
It's just weird. Just like, and not in a mean way with the Raiders. The Raiders are the same way. The Broncos, same way. They just don't feel like the record that they are, but they're putting up wins.
Yep.
The Saints are scrappy. That's the word I'm looking for. They're just scrappy.
Yeah.
Tennessee's better. I'm going with the Titans as well.
All right. Jaguars, Colts. Yeah. Jaguars didn't show me anything in that win against Buffalo that says they can put up points
I don't think Lawrence is playing, which I don't know if that's any better.
It's
honestly
for that I don't. It's this Colts teams again. They lost in overtime to the Ravens, which they shouldn't have. They had a big lead and they blew it. Jonathan Taylor's going to finish as the best running back in football this season, especially since Henry's out.
Yep.
Carson Wentz is playing well. Okay, they're not asking him to blow the roof off. They are asking him to
play football.
And Nyheim Hines, they figured him out. They figured out a niche for him. And the wide receivers are playing well. The defense is coming on. This game, I feel, is going to be a blowout. I think the Colts blow out the Jaguars. And I just think it's going to be a 15, 20-point game.
Yeah. I have the Colts winning this game as well. They're better than the Jaguars. I think even with Trevor Lawrence, it doesn't matter whether he plays or not. I want to take in maybe next week. I'm not going to do it right now, but I think next week I want to talk a little bit about how bad these rookie quarterbacks are. I mean, I'm not going to put Mac Jones in there really because he's a little bit different. But how bad they're all playing. Every single one of them has been terrible this year.
Well, one of them lost his job.
I know that's
because
what I'm
of
saying.
injury.
But
you don't lose it because of injury. But that kid,
he might not get it back.
We'll talk in a little bit.
Yeah, we'll be there in a minute
about him. But
I just want to say the Colts are good. People know I'm a Dallas fan, obviously, so I always give hell to Carson Wentz. I did it to Eli Manning. We know Carson Wentz is playing really good. And I always knew he had this ability. I will die on the grave of wanting Carson Wentz in that draft. We didn't have the number 2 pick, but I like Carson Wentz a lot. It was mostly the Dak Wentz argument. He's good. This offense is playing good. The defense is getting better every week by one position. I still think their defense can be a liability at times, but right now the Jaguars, this is a statement game. I could see a double-digit win at least. So what we got next?
Browns, Patriots.
Ooh.
Chubb might not play.
Yep.
Hill's not playing.
You mean Hunt?
Hunt, yeah. So you're going to go to Dearness Johnson.
Yeah.
You're going to have Baker playing. The defense is good. The offensive line is very good. Patriots' run defense is suspect. That being said, Chubb's probably not playing. If Chubb plays, I may rethink this pick. But since we're going on live and right now he's questionable, has to, it's 2 tests.
2 negative tests.
Within 24 hours, 24 hours or more before.
I don't think he can get his next test till Saturday.
Okay, and he has to test negative on Saturday
morning and Sunday morning.
Okay. That being said, this Patriot team to me just is, they're finding a way. They're well coached. They don't make mistakes. And this team is dangerous. They're not dangerous where I think they're going to win the Super Bowl. Make the playoffs and scare people? Yes, because Mac Jones isn't making mistakes. And they have 4 running backs that they could give 2 craps about who gets the ball. I mean, they have this guy, what is it, J.J. Taylor, Bolden, Stevenson, and Harris. Harris and Stevenson go out with concussions in the last game. And they didn't care. Yeah. They handed it to this kid, J.J. Taylor, who nobody's ever heard of, and Bolden, who's been on the team forever. And he's just played special teams, and occasionally he'll go in at running back. They just find a way. And the defense is really good in the secondary. Linebackers back are really good. Their defensive line is suspect, where they give up. That's why they're not as good against the run. I do think that it's at home. Browns are coming off a win where I feel they galvanized as a team, but losing Chubb is key. And I got the Patriots win this game.
So I have the Browns winning this game. Patriots are good. I mean, they're they're a good team. They're a good 5-4 team. I don't think they're bad in any way. Like I said last week or 2 weeks ago, they're playing football. They're not playing bad. They're not turning the ball over. Even with Dearness Johnson, whatever his name is, they did really well when he played. I mean, he had like 50 fantasy points.
Yeah.
The thing is, they're getting some assets back on defense for the Browns. Their offensive line is, like you said, incredible. Mm-hmm. Yes, I actually think OBJ being gone will help them by far, so he doesn't command his voice. Just that player's not there anymore. You're going to have Peoples-Jones there, I think is his name. I can't think of who it is. You're going to have other options there. They have the multiple tight ends. For some reason, and it has nothing to do with the Patriots being a bad team, I think the Browns are playing better. They're high off that win last week, and they beat the Bengals last week. And I think the Bengals are better than the Patriots, in my opinion. I think, did they play, was it the Bengals game last week, right?
Oh, yeah, no, I was looking to see who the Patriots played.
Who did they play?
They played the Panthers.
The Panthers. So I just think the Browns right now are a tad bit better than the Patriots, but I will say this. I could see the Patriots winning this game very easily. This is my upset of the week. Patriots are a 2.5 favorite, and I think the Browns get this win because of the ground and pound. They're going to hold the possession for most of the game, and they don't turn the ball over. I think Mac Jones is going to go out and throw a couple throws here and there, and they're going to have short drives that fizzle, and the Browns like, yeah, we're going to hold this for 10 minutes because they can.
Yep.
So Browns is my upset of the week over the Patriots.
All right, Bills-Jets. This kid White is starting. Mm-hmm. He torched the Bengals. Like, I don't even know if the Bengals, like, you don't prepare for that. Like, you really don't. A backup you've never seen play. He torched the Bengals. And then he came out and he was playing really well, and then he hurt his hand.
Yeah.
And he got taken out, and the Jets ended up losing. I can't even remember who.
Josh Johnson.
Yeah, but who
was like his 19th team.
The Jets were playing the Colts.
Yeah.
And I think it was going to be a much better game than what, now the Colts ended up running for like 500 yards or something,
crazy.
But I look at them as a team that is not there even close. And I look at this as a Bills team saying, wake the up.
Yeah.
And I think the Bills are going to put a foot in their ass. And they're, because they gave up 9 points last week. Yeah. It's not like they got blown out.
No.
They gave up 9 points. Yeah. The defense didn't let anything up. No. It was the offense that didn't show up. Mm-hmm. So I look at this as a blowout. I don't see this kid being able to solve the Bills defense. No. So I've got the Bills winning this game.
Yeah, I have the Bills winning too. The Bills and the Cowboys are in a very similar predicament for me. Yes, they allowed a lot. Go ahead.
Oh, no. I was going to say it was going to be my lock of the week, but since the Bills fucked me last week, I decided not to pick them as the lock of the week this week.
Yeah, I have the Bills winning. The Jets aren't good. And I'm going to say it here, Mike White is okay. He's playing well because teams aren't preparing. I don't think he's that good.
You know what it is? It's his attitude that I love.
He's just I love it.
He is just like, I should have been a first-round pick. I should have been this. I am this good. Like, this is how people become Pro Bowlers. Mm-hmm. This is how people make a name for themselves is they get the chance and they don't give it up. And I'm not going to compare him to Brady, but look at Brady. Brady, it doesn't exist if Bledsoe doesn't get hurt.
Dak Prescott never exists.
If Romo doesn't get hurt.
And Sanchez.
Right.
Sanchez injured in preseason.
And so I'm looking at that, and so people that have this attitude, this is how they get their chance. And I'm sorry, I love this kid. I'm going to root for this kid to do
absolutely.
well. I don't think they win this game, but I hope. And you know what? Screw you, Zach Wilson. Yeah. You didn't do anything to prove you could start in the NFL in your first 6-7 games.
But they have to play. So, they have to tread that water lightly. He's like $30 million in cap hit. They can't really get rid of him right now. But yeah,
I see the Bills killing him.
I do too. And I will say this. I think Mike White is a good quarterback. That's why I said he's a good quarterback. He doesn't have a lot of playing time under his feet. He's on a bad Jets team. This is a bad matchup this week. I think he'll be good, but I think he's going to be Jets good. I don't think he's going to blow the doors off. I think I like his hype. I like what he's doing. I like he's getting fans stirred up. But at the end of the day, he's still a multiple team degenerate, hoping to find that role. And he's playing really well. What?
He's a rookie.
No, he's not.
He isn't?
He was drafted by Dallas like 3 seasons ago. He played behind Dak, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was drafted by Dallas. That's why I remember the name Mike White. He was the backup to Cooper Rush for years. But like I said, I have the Bills winning this game easily.
Okay. Lions-Steelers. Steelers.
What we got next?
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. Unless you wanted to say something about the Steelers.
No, the Steelers.
They're playing good football right now.
Just like the Patriots, the Steelers worry me.
Yeah.
Coaching, defense, running.
Yeah, those are the.
That's it. Like, Big Ben doesn't scare me.
No.
I'm sorry, but this Tomlin, the defense, yes, they almost blew it against the Bears. I understand that, but they ended up winning. They're 5-3, I believe.
Yeah.
They were 1-3, and everybody was writing them off. So this team is dangerous. The Lions suck. It absolutely suck. Like, there's nothing even positive except for T.J. Hawkinson on that team. So, or maybe Swift too. Maybe.
Don't they have a corner that's really good?
I don't even know.
Like a Slay? No, not Darius Slay.
No,
did they draft somebody last year?
I don't know.
I think they did. I think it was somebody I wanted Dallas to take.
Regardless, Steelers win.
So I have no, I'm kind of Steelers. Steelers win this game. Next game.
Buccaneers, Washington.
Ooh.
It's at Washington.
Yep.
Doesn't matter. Buccaneers are coming off a bye. Tom Brady coming out of a bye is nearly unbeatable. And the Buccaneers are going to destroy them. Washington doesn't have a running game, which surprises me because Gibson was somebody coming out into the season as watch out for him. Mm-hmm. And no. You have, I think, Logan Thomas coming back.
Yes, he's healthy this week.
You do have Terry McLaurin, who I absolutely love. I can't say anything bad about the kid. You don't have a quarterback. You don't have an offensive line. And your defense is playing like they weren't together last year. And again, you're playing the wrong system. We've said it before with Dallas. You played the wrong system. You drafted players and traded for players, and now you're playing a system that doesn't fit.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. Buccaneers are going to beat Washington. I don't know if Washington wins another game this year.
Yeah.
And that's sad to say because there's talent there, but I don't see it. Like, I think it was, 2 weeks ago? Yeah, the last time we aired, I think I wrote down it was Washington versus the Broncos. And I said, if not now, win.
Yeah.
They didn't win. So win. They're bad. And I got the Buccaneers.
Yeah, I have the Buccaneers too. DC's bad. I know and I'll say it again, I was being nice in the group earlier saying they have the talent. Chase Young's talented. These players are talented. Especially, I'm talking about the defense here, but it's like, at what point are we going to label that tag on them that we gave Dallas that tag last year? Are you just overrated until the scheme gets fixed? Again, I'm not trying to make like a Madden joke. You just change the scheme real quick and everything works. Del Rio, is he the answer? What is the answer? And this is the thing. At what point do we start pointing the finger at the one person all of our friends that are DC fans don't want to blame? Is it the coach's fault? At what point? At what point is it Rivera's fault?
So here's the thing. You look at the stats. Chase Young is playing well. Okay,
well, one sack this year.
But
I know.
Okay, he's got a lot of pressures.
He's disruptive. He's disruptive.
Yes. So he's playing well.
Yeah.
He's not playing near the level that he was last year.
No.
And he's now. But the thing is he was a rookie last year.
Yeah.
There's tape on you now.
Yeah.
It's just like in every sport. When there's tape on you, what do you do to get better? And if you don't do anything, you're just another guy.
Yep.
And that's where I am with Chase Young.
Yeah.
Are you just going to become another guy, or are you going to make those adjustments now?
Are you going to become Khalil Mack? Are you going to become a TJ Watt? Are you going to become a lockdown defender on the line
that everybody is scared of?
Or are you just going to be another DeMarcus Lawrence? Are you just going to be an average defensive player? Clowney. No one's afraid of the name.
And so that's where I'm at. And the free agent signings were very, very, they were exciting.
Yeah.
Because they were good players. But now you're not playing a system that actually works for them.
Yeah.
So I really am worried about Washington.
I do want to say one more thing real quick about Washington. A minute ago we mentioned Miami, and I'd love to get your opinion on this. Miami was 10-6 last year. Mm-hmm. And they have 2 wins, 2-7. DC was a playoff team and looked well. 7-9. I get it, 7-9. Playoff team, 2-6.
Yep.
At what point does the coach start getting the can? And I'm not here to say it's not his fault. He is one of the brightest spots of that whole team. And I don't think they get rid of him. But again, with our friend group, but this is what I'll say. Fitzpatrick got hurt. That's what it is. The defense looks bad. It's Del Rio. But at some point, this diagram goes back to the one person that prepares everybody.
Yes.
Even though the coach has a defensive scheme, Rivera, it's still his team.
Okay, so I will still say this.
I like Rivera.
I will still say this.
This is why I want your opinion.
Washington was a 7-9 team last year.
Yes.
Okay, they won a bad division.
Yes.
Maybe historically one of the worst divisions I've ever seen.
It was pretty bad.
And Miami was 10-6, just shy of the playoffs and making noise in the playoffs. And they did just miss it. It was like stupid, like little. Those,
it was like the field goal. It was weird things like that.
They're more of a disappointment to me than Washington.
Okay.
Miami is much more of a disappointment to me than Washington because Washington wasn't a 500 team.
Yeah.
They weren't. And now I'm not saying I expected Washington to be 5 games less than what they won last year.
I didn't, no.
But at the same time, we said Miami was going to battle for the top spot in the East. I could probably look back in my notebook and we both said Miami was going to battle for the top spot in the East. The Bills were still going to win it, but Miami was going to be right there. No, I don't think anybody saw this coming from Miami.
No.
So Miami's the bigger disappointment.
Yeah.
Washington, though, is, you know what? You don't lose another game this year. You draft a rookie hoping he's the dude.
I feel so bad because his quarterback class isn't that good. Right. But again, they could find a diamond in the rough. Okay, I'm not going to. But I'm just saying, purely as a fan, and yes, I'm turning off the blue and silver here. I'm just saying, at what point do we need to just start reevaluating the whole team and saying what really is the problem? Because you can say it's the scheme, but your offense is garbage. It's not playing well either.
So no quarterback.
Yeah.
Running back was overvalued.
Yes.
Okay. Tight end got hurt. I get it. 1 wide receiver.
Yeah,
that's all you have.
You have Curtis Samuel.
But
they're not even using him
because he hasn't played. He's been hurt.
I know.
He played 1 game. 2
he's
games.
Had 4 games. He's had like 3 or 4 games this year.
So
but yeah,
it's and then the defense, the secondary is being exposed.
Yep.
But
again, you can't. And this is something I got told to me too. Is like injuries aren't an excuse. You should have players available. Just like I'm not using Dallas last year as an excuse.
I'm not saying it's.
I know you're not. I know.
But I'm just saying you don't have. And I would say there'd be probably maybe a 3-4 win team if Fitzpatrick was out there.
Yeah, I don't think it'd be much different.
I really don't. And it's but you'll never know. But
this is my lock of the week too, by the way.
The Buccaneers?
Yep. The Buccaneers over Washington is my lock of the week. I almost picked the Steelers over the Lions, but for some reason I just trust Tampa Bay more.
Okay.
I mean, so
all right.
We get next?
Panthers, Cardinals.
Okay.
No Darnold.
Yep.
Possibly no Murray.
Yep.
Possibly no Hopkins. I got the Cardinals.
I have the Cardinals winning this game too. I just don't think the Panthers are good. I don't think they know who they are. With or without Darnold, I think they might be better without Darnold. That's the thing.
Right.
And Christian McCaffrey's come back. Walker is a great backup quarterback. Let's see what happens.
It's an interesting thing because if Colt McCoy plays, I don't think Colt McCoy has the game he has last week. This week, there's a reason why Colt McCoy doesn't start. It's, but he looked like a starter last week. But the Cardinals are good. The Panthers are in flux. So I'm going with the Cardinals.
Yep, got the Cardinals too.
Vikings, Chargers.
Come on, Mark.
This game is awful. This game is awful because the Chargers, I don't know what happened to them, but I wrote it down here, okay? And I said it last week. I typed it. I will not pick the Vikings ever again, maybe, if they lost last week, okay? They lost again in overtime. This team beats themselves. I wrote it right here. Vikings beat the Vikings. The Chargers aren't going to beat the Vikings. The Vikings are going to beat the Vikings. And the Chargers win this game because the Vikings do something stupid. Or stop playing for 10 minutes and give up too many points when you're up too many points. This is a team where you have to look at it and say it's the coach. And I love Zimmer. I do. He comes from the Bengals when the Bengals were like that 8-year window where the Bengals were battling in the North and making it to the playoffs 7 years in a row. He was there. Yeah. The Vikings beat the Vikings. So the Chargers are winning by default.
I wanted to hear your take on the Vikings. I have the Chargers winning this game, just like you do. Well, you have the Vikings losing, but not the Chargers winning. Got
exactly.
it. I have the Chargers winning because they're the better team. I've said it all year.
They're not, though.
They are.
They're not. The Vikings are a top 10 team in defense, in offense, and in special teams.
I bet the Chargers are close to that.
Not on defense.
Yeah, but their defense is bad. But they have one of the best passing quarterbacks in the league.
Not lately.
Well, I would say not lately. He does have more 300-yard games than anyone else in the league in the last 2 years.
Okay,
he's a baller.
But
again,
the Vikings. I don't know how the Vikings are freaking losing.
And in a weird way, I'll go out here. I love Dalvin Cook. Eckler might be better right now. Eckler balling, dude. This offense is balling. Now they've had a tough schedule. They're playing the AFC West. Let's be clear. That's a really tough division right now. The Vikings are beating themselves, and they have talent. Like you said, top 10 in offense, top 10 in defense. But they're a bad, good team. They're a shitty, good team.
It's just bad luck. It's just bad luck. How many overtime and last-second field goals have they lost?
It's coaching.
It's
player personnel.
And that's the thing. Like in every game, they've blown the lead. Yeah. So it's frustrating to me.
I will say this. The Chargers I have winning, but I think the Chargers have had a couple bad weeks, and I think they came out really hot, and they were a little bit like, yeah, we're the Chargers. I think they need to win this game.
To the Eagles.
They need to win this game.
Yes.
They need to win this game. I'm going to go with them to win this game.
If you do those things in the beginning again,
what?
Like you practice like doing like snidbits in the beginning of something we said to start the show. Put in Vikings beat the Vikings.
Okay.
Mark down the time. Vikings beat the Vikings. Like that is the Chargers don't win this game because the Vikings beat the Vikings. Okay?
I'm writing it down right now.
The next game is Eagles-Broncos.
Mm-hmm. Do the Broncos go 3-3 against NFC East?
The Broncos to me caught lightning in a bottle last week and took advantage of it. The Eagles to me are a team that no team should want to play right now because you'll win, but you're going to have to fight.
Yeah.
And if you don't have fight or you don't have that clutch, Eagles are going to win. This is my upset of the week.
Wow.
I've got the Eagles winning this game.
Do we have every game the same? Because I got the... finish telling me why. Go ahead.
I got the Eagles winning this game because I think they have more grit than the Broncos do. Yeah. And that's all I have. Like, again, last week, the Chargers were the better team, and the Chargers went down the field and kicked a field goal to win the game.
Yeah.
I don't see the Broncos being better.
No.
And that's just it's just me. I hate looking at the Eagles and saying I see something there, but they don't quit.
No.
And so that is something that you have to look at. And if you don't have that in you, if your team doesn't have that in you, you're going to lose. Mm-hmm. And that's why I think they have more heart than the Broncos. And the Broncos are a front-runner team where if they get punched in the mouth, they fold. Yep. And I think the Eagles can be that team to punch them in the mouth.
So I will say this. I also have the Eagles winning. And the main reason why is screw the Broncos for beating the Cowboys. I hope they die in hell. Okay, that's a little extreme. But seriously, I don't want to see them win another game. I don't want to see them go 3-3 against NFC East because that's just a testament to the NFC East. Why are you playing the Broncos so bad? They don't have, to me, the Broncos remind me, and this may hurt your feelings, a lot of the Vikings. You're not a very good team. Again, I'm starting to go to the thing with, maybe we'll talk about the Vikings next week. When do we overrate some of the players? Except for Dalvin Cook.
I think you guys are just really shitting on me for picking the Vikings.
Hey, y'all did it with me with the Chargers last year.
All right, I picked them 9 weeks in a row, I think, to win.
They got Dalvin Cook, and everyone else is like, they'll be all right. So the point is, the Eagles are scrappy. I said it about the teams earlier. I said about the Patriots. The Eagles are good, and I could just see them finding a way to itch this game out and a 17-14 somehow win. I think we could talk about the best running back isn't Miles Sanders for them. Jalen Hurts is doing okay. The wide receivers are doing all right. I just see the Broncos not doing this twice. Again, so I got the Eagles winning. This is not my upset, obviously, but
and we have one difference so far.
Yeah, it was the
Browns-Patriots.
Browns-Patriots, yep.
Seahawks-Packers.
Yep.
We do not know if Rodgers is playing.
Yep.
Carson and Wilson are supposed to be back.
Yep.
It's in Green Bay. Right now, Rodgers is questionable.
Where do you think Jordan Love's parents are going to sit?
Well, it's in Green Bay, so they
hopefully
might
closer.
Sit,
hopefully a little closer. Not in the parking lot or anything.
Rodgers plays, Packers win. Rodgers doesn't, Seattle wins. So at this time of the taping, I'm saying Rodgers plays.
Yep.
Rodgers is the biggest douchebag to ever put on a helmet. And that's saying something. Like, he is the most non-team. There's a reason why this man's only won one Super Bowl. Because he doesn't give two shits about the team.
No.
All he cares about is Aaron Rodgers.
Always has.
And it's disgusting. And then this man goes on and just tries to be, like, you know, smart and funny on the Pat McAfee show. Like, lose me. Okay? Lose me. And then your agent goes and tells you, you know what? You might want to backtrack a little bit. Like... You know, State Farm, they're going to pull. You know, you're not going to have money after football if you keep this up.
It was I think the health clinic that he was a part
they
of.
dropped
whatever,
him within.
They dropped him. State Farm. I think State Farm said they weren't going to, but they told him he needs to make a statement and that kind of stuff.
Right. Packers win this game if Rodgers plays.
Yep.
So at this taping, I think he's playing, so I'm picking the Packers.
Yep.
If he doesn't, Seattle wins this game because the Packers looked god awful last week.
Yeah.
In a game that they should have won against a team that was 100% healthy.
Yeah.
So I got the Packers.
Yep. I have the Packers winning this game too if Rodgers plays, obviously. I think if he doesn't play, the Seahawks with Russell Wilson coming back are a better team. I will say this, Aaron Rodgers is a giant prima donna. I thought OBJ was bad. Aaron Rodgers is pretty bad. This whole season, the preseason.
Prima donna or a prick?
Both work. But I will say this about Aaron Rodgers. I don't listen to a lot of what he says. I don't listen to a lot of what any athlete says because most of them barely passed high school. The problem I have with Aaron Rodgers is just don't say anything. That's all it is. Whatever you want to do. And I will say this, it's our show. You are free to do whatever you want in this world. You are free to get IV injections because somebody told you to do it. That is fine. It is totally fine for him to post things he thinks about what's happening in the world from other countries' scientific studies, just so people are clear. More scientists than just America exist. And he's free to believe what he wants to believe. But shut the fuck up. Nobody cares that you did this. Nobody cares about the Pat McAfee show. Nobody cares what Howard Stern had to say. I know. I love Pat McAfee. No one cares what Howard Stern has to say because Howard Stern has assaulted enough women not to care. We don't care what you have to say. The point is, Rodgers, if you want to do things, if you want to get a jab, you don't want to get a jab, you want to snort coke, I don't care. Do what you want. But don't make it everyone else's problem. Because now everyone's talking about, well, he didn't get this and he didn't get that. And he's suffering to his teammates. Lose me. Oh, I sounded like Mark there. No one cares what he's done. I don't know one person that cares if he goes out to a clinic and gets a jab or not. It doesn't change anything. But the fact of the matter is, don't be a dumbass and be a stupid prick on TV and piss off half the country. Just let it be your personal business. And that's where I'll leave it. I have the Packers winning this game.
All right. Chiefs, Raiders. Raiders lost to the Giants. Chiefs beat... Can you even say they beat the Packers last week? Like, it counts as a win. So, the Chiefs are broken. And they're not adjusting. They're not making those adjustments.
They're like, we got Mahomes. Fuck it. But it's not helping. It's not working. We got Tyreek down there somewhere.
The Raiders are good. The Raiders shouldn't have lost last week.
No.
Okay, now, I will say this. How much more can the Raiders take? Okay, how much more can you take?
Do they remind you of the original Raiders, the bad boy?
But this franchise this year, how much more can you take? Like, before the players just are like, dude, can I just stay home?
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not saying they're going to quit. I'm not saying anything like that. The Chiefs, to me, need to figure it out, and they need to figure it out fast. They don't figure it out this week. I got the Raiders winning.
Weird. I have the Raiders winning too. I told myself with the Chiefs, picking them and this kind of stuff, they're not proving anything to me. We talked about it earlier. If you wanted my opinion right now of the division, the Chiefs and Broncos are playing pretty much the same to me right now. I think the Broncos might be playing better with less.
Yeah.
I think the Raiders are a better team, and I will go on a limb. I still think the Chargers might be a teeny bit better than the Raiders. A teeny bit right now, but flip them the other way. I don't care. It's fine. Good job. The fact of the matter is, I don't even think the Chiefs are one of the best teams in the league, let alone top half of the league, let alone their division. It's bad. You have Patrick Mahomes getting exposed.
Now, isn't it kind of funny you're saying the division is bad, but none of them are under 500?
Yes. But I will say the division is good. They're bad. Does that, like
I wouldn't say the division's good.
No?
No.
Every single team's over 500.
I just think they got lucky.
I think the Raiders are scrappy. I think the Broncos are scrappy.
I think the Raiders are the best team in the division, so I disagree with you there.
Well, that's what I meant.
I think the Chargers are still a couple years away.
I think the Chargers in the playoffs would get beat, but I wouldn't want to play the Broncos or Raiders somehow in the first round of the playoffs. I think they're scrappy enough to get a win in the first round. Not the Chargers. Not the Chargers right now, because I still think they're a few years away. I agree with you. But the Chiefs right now?
Oh, yeah. I mean,
that's
the
what I'm
only
saying. They're
reason
the
why
worst
I
team in
picked
the
the Chiefs to win last week was because I knew Jordan Love was playing.
That's one of the reasons I picked them too.
I
will say this. I got the Raiders winning this game. I'm kind of on the Raiders wagon right now. Derek Carr's playing good. They have a lot of stuff happening right now, but I think they're doing well. I don't know what they're going to do at wide receiver right now. I'm not really sure what the situation is, but we'll just have to see.
Renfro, they signed Jackson.
Yeah, so they signed Deshaun Jackson. He'll be hurt in a week.
Waller.
He'll be hurt in a week.
Yeah, probably. Your
game.
lock of the week was the Buccaneers, right?
Yes.
Okay, so Rams 49ers. This is my lock of the week.
49ers over the Rams?
Rams over the 49ers. That being said, Rams really have to watch out what you're doing. Okay, I understand you have some big personalities in your locker room that you say won't allow OBJ to be OBJ, and everybody says, oh, he's a great teammate. He's a great teammate. If you're a great teammate, you wouldn't do what you do.
Yeah.
Okay, just because some guys in the locker room like you doesn't mean you're a good teammate.
Difference from being
you don't have, Daddy, please. He's not throwing me the ball. Make a tape and put it out there. Like, what the fuck? Like, you're not in high school, dude.
Bro, that was absolutely terrifying.
Like, I'm sorry.
I'm so uncomfortable right now.
The Rams have to be careful.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying they're gonna lose or they're gonna anything, but people are starting to shit on Stafford. For losing last week to the Titans.
One bad win.
Like, you have people saying this is the Stafford that played for the Lions, and that's why the Lions didn't go anywhere.
Stafford for the Lions was good.
and I'm like, okay, like, come on. And it's...
Come on, say it, Mark. Say lose me. You got to do it.
So, I'm looking at the Rams beating the 49ers. Chandler said something that I used to say all the time, okay? And the Rams need to lock it up, okay? They need to just understand where they're good and do it.
Noted.
Yeah. But I got the Rams beating the 49ers. The 49ers, I don't know why they're not good. Again, it's the narrative of the show. Is it coaching? Like, what is wrong with this team? Like, I don't understand it. Like, I don't.
I would say their coaching is better than other teams like Washington and Dolphins, but still, they're 7-2. They're the best team in the NFC right now.
49ers?
Oh, you're talking about I thought we were still on the Rams. I'm sorry.
49ers.
Sorry.
Like, I don't know how they're bad. Like,
Garoppolo, their talent's not good. Ayuk's not a good wide receiver. Their running back, Elijah Mitchell, might be the best, but they don't have a true running back. They can never stay healthy. Wide receiver Debo has been about the only one. They haven't had Kittle all year, and their defense is once again hurt. And once again, when they are healthy, overrated. That's why I look at the 49ers. I look at them as a team that's not good. When they're healthy, they're still not that good.
Yeah.
Again, the AFC West, the NFC West a few years ago was not good when they were winning it.
No.
But again, they had a completely different style of offense. They had weapons that were open. They had a dual threat and a different type of quarterback. I just don't think either quarterback on their roster is the one they need. And I'm sorry, I didn't see it out of Trey Lance, and I definitely don't see it out of Garoppolo. I just don't know if they're using either one properly. Okay. I think a team like DC could use Garoppolo better.
I could see that, yeah.
That's my thing. It was like, I know the trade deadline's passed, but 100%. Yeah. I just see that's what I'm seeing. I got the Rams as well.
Yeah, this is my lock of the week.
Yeah, perfect.
So I have one person that for fantasy that is for me a flex.
Oh, okay. You got a fantasy player. Okay.
Yeah, and I can't remember his name, so I'm going to look it up. So I'm going to let you talk. But okay. I actually have somebody that I would say people should start.
Okay.
In a flex.
Excuse me. So I'll start with my quarterback starts. I do these again. I say it every week. So people that make it all the way to the end. Do you have your player?
Yeah, but go ahead.
Okay. I say this every week. Most of my players I pick are borderline starters and not starters. So what I mean is I'm not saying start Dak Prescott this week. If you have Dak Prescott, you're going to start him every week unless it's on a bye. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So these are all players you may have on your bench. You're like, should I start him? Should I not? That's all. My starts for quarterbacks are Carson Wentz and Kirk Cousins, mostly based off of matchup of the defense they're playing. Most people in most leagues have Carson Wentz probably now as a starter, and Kirk Cousins on your bench.
Okay.
This is mostly, like I've said before, the 7 to 20 watt quarterback range right here. My sits are Mac Jones and Baker Mayfield, both in the same game, but the defenses they're playing against do not allow a lot of passing yards.
Okay.
Do you want to go and say yours before I get done?
Nope.
Running backs, I think it's time to Melvin Gordon to be the starter. I think it's time to say Melvin Gordon for the Broncos is the starting running back.
Oh, Williams is the stud there.
I know, but
you could start Gordon. It's 50-50 right now.
That's what I'm saying.
50-50 split.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say starting on the team. I mean starting in fantasy leagues. Flex, somewhere around there. I think he's good. And Leonard Fournette. I know people who have him are starting him, but I've seen him in weeks where he's not starting in leagues. And I'm like, I think it's time to start him. My sits this week, Antonio Gibson.
Yep.
Adrian Peterson. Now, I did tell you he may have more than 50 yards, but he doesn't catch the ball. Fantasy, he's James White. He's completely irrelevant in fantasy, but Adrian Peterson's still a good player. I think he has enough in the tank. I said Antonio Gibson because the offense is going to be behind in the Buccaneers. They're not going to run the ball. My wide receiver starts Amari Cooper. I think he has a good matchup this week. Chris Godwin and Hunter Renfrow. Renfrow going to get some points this week.
Yes. Godwin's questionable.
Is he? Okay.
Yeah, he hasn't practiced the last couple days, but they say he should play, but he hasn't practiced.
Really, anybody in that offense is a must start. I would even say AB is a must start.
Okay.
Just because DC's defense is that bad. Sit him, Elijah Moore. People have been starting him. He's really been irrelevant. And I kind of think sitting Adam Thielen this week might not be a bad idea. Okay. If you have other options that are better. The reason I say that is, let me remember why I said that. The Chargers. The Chargers have been really good against wide receivers. When I say really good, I don't mean like the best in the league. They're stopping number one wide receivers at the moment.
Okay.
Tight ends, Noah Fant, Dan Arnold, Dalton Schultz, Logan Thomas, all decent starts. They're all borderline starters. Maybe not Fant and Schultz. I think they're starters every week right now.
Okay.
But I would say borderline. Sit Jared Cook, Jeff Swaim.
Okay.
Seattle don't like tight ends. I don't know why.
I like the kid from Conklin.
Yeah.
I like Conklin
He was on my list, but I only tried to do one or two. I think he's almost a must start.
Running backs, if you're stuck, say you have Gibson and you have the handcuff and McKissick, start McKissick over Gibson. I would. I think McKissick, Naheem Hines are flexes.
Yep.
And I think you can flex them every week.
Yeah, I think I will say this too, other than the bad week. I was going to do that this week, but I didn't have time to write because I've been busy with the new job too. But I was going to say McKissick, Naheem Hines, and I think Pollard is almost in the conversation of weekly flex starts, except for last week is a bad example of the game. But I think you can possibly get double-digit points out of all of them every week.
Yep, and then this is my start, put in the flex, see what he does.
I'm ready.
Donovan Peoples-Jones.
He's the wide receiver for
the Browns.
The Browns, yeah. He's I said him earlier, didn't I?
Yep.
Okay.
I would put him, and now I have him on 2 or 3 different teams.
Yeah.
I'm putting him in my flex in a couple of them, and one I'm stacked, and it would be stupid to start him. But I would put him in over Jacob Myers. I'd put him in over a McKissick, a Naheem Hines. I think the volume's going to be there for him. And he's a I hate to say it, like he had 3 catches on 4 targets for 86 yards and a touchdown. 1 catch for 70 yards against the Bengals last week, and 2 catches for 8 yards apiece. So it wasn't like he blew the doors off you, but I do feel that connection is going to be there with Baker. So I feel he's a flex player to start, and he's only owned in 15% of leagues. He's a flyer. Take a chance.
Yeah,
like,
he's
why
available
not?
in the league,
Like, he's better than probably 3 or 4 people on your bench that you're just holding on to because they're a name.
Yeah.
One of those players for me, I do have Odell in one league. Holding on to him, just why not?
Could be a trade asset. Like, I would use him as an example, Donovan Peoples-Jones, as if you're sitting with Russell Gage on your bench. You're sitting with someone like that who is a clear number 2 in that offense, gets no volume at all. Someone like that, when I think you may see with OBJ out, because I think it's so bad to say this, but I think the offense plays better without him.
Yeah.
I just don't. I think he gets lost sometimes. I don't know what the answer is, but I think with two valuable wide receivers, especially one that is incredibly underrated, Jarvis Landry, I think they can make the ball move. I really do.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be a different Browns team without him. It's going to be like, when they sit there and go, he's out.
Yeah.
Guys, he's gone.
Yeah.
We can all come out now, and I think that's what it'll be. I think the Browns. I think that's a good start.
Yep.
I also have my defenses real quick. I always try to do them. Tampa Bay, probably a good start this week.
Okay.
They're probably already in your lineup, but for someone like me, I have Cardinals and Bills in one league, so it's kind of one of those. I don't know who to start. Rams, and I think Dallas could be a flex, sneaky start.
Okay.
Against the Falcons, sitting the Saints and the Raiders.
Okay. I got the Titans.
Oh, 100%. But most people already starting the Titans.
I picked the Titans up in one of our leagues.
Oh, so they were still out there.
I put them in there. Yeah, they're in all 4 leagues. The Titans are there.
Wow, good.
So I'd start the Titans. But other than that, I'm excited because I have Sunday off this week.
Oh, yeah, you do. I forgot about that.
Unless work calls me.
They probably won't.
I hope not. I don't think I'll answer. But, other than that, thanks for listening, guys. Keep hitting us up on Facebook. And A.D.D. League, just an update. We have 6 teams at 4 and 5.
Mm-hmm.
We have 3 or 4 teams over 500. And we have a winless team, and we have a team that has like a couple wins. So it's very competitive.
Yeah. Maybe next week we'll give an update. Maybe in the group, maybe on Facebook we'll give an update.
Okay, and also just so everybody knows, Christian can't say anything about the winless team in our league, in the A.D.D. League, because right now Christian is winless in one of our leagues.
The Wet Booty League.
And it is absolutely hilarious because every week he's projected to win, and every week this man loses, and it is epic right now. He is 0-9.
Listen, we have 4 IR spots. I want to talk about this real quick. Before I made the trade with you, I had 5 players on IR. I had, I had Chris Carson. I had CMC, I had Kittle, I had someone else, I can't think of who it was right now, and then I had another player, all starters, and I was like, okay, fuck me, right? Like, this is going to be the whole year, and they've been injured all year. So I traded all of them but one, except for Chris Carson, all gone.
I gave you McLaurin and Chubb, right?
Yeah, and I traded, and now Chubb's out this week potentially.
Yeah.
But I have Dearness Johnson, so that's cool.
Okay.
And then I just traded McLaurin away, so.
For Gibson, right?
For Gibson and A.J. Green. A.J. Brown? A.J. Green.
What the hell were you thinking?
I'm not keeping McLaurin. He's not a keeper.
So you don't trade him?
Why not?
He's a monster. You keep him from a playoff contender.
Why would I keep him when I'm 0-9? First round pick,
you're not
baby.
Going to keep Gibson either.
Yeah, no.
So why give the better player to a playoff contender?
Why?
Like right now, you're being that cock block.
I'm not being a cock block. You're just upset because you're fighting.
No. What I'm saying is you be that block. Like you don't and that's the thing. Like I figured you'd keep these guys, like just to keep them. But I knew Logan's the worst trader in the history of our fantasy football leagues.
Look, the reason I went after the running back, I always forget his name, for the DC,
Gibson,
is because potentially, with how valuable running backs are, he could be a keeper over a wide receiver. I ain't keeping any wide receivers probably because they're so valuable. He's a running back 2, running back 1. And in a keeper league, would you rather keep a wide receiver or running back when you're going to have a running back spot?
Would I have rather had Gibson or McLaurin?
Probably McLaurin. But I also have the number 1 pick. So I could potentially... Oh, it's still a lottery.
Yeah.
Is there a lottery for better advantages when you have no wins? And I am setting my lineup every week. Let's be clear.
It's a lottery. Like, it is a lottery. It doesn't matter. Yes, you're going to have the best chance to have first pick, but it doesn't matter. Like, I hope I win the championship and win the lottery. Like,
you're not going to win the championship.
It's a battle. Every league we're in is competitive.
I'm borderline playoff in like 3 of them, just not this one. I got like 4 and 5 in every league.
The only league I'm not over 500 is the A.D.D. League. The only league that I'm not either first or second in my division is the A.D.D. League.
To be fair, probably Dennis, the Menace team, whatever that is, probably will get a win before I do in Wet Booty, and his team is trash.
Ooh.
Do you want to make a bet?
I'm going to say your Wet Booty team wins before. And
it's not a bad team. It's not a bad team.
I'm saying your team in Wet Booty will win before.
God, I hope so. Wait, I just want to see before we go off the air. I just want to see if I'm projected to win this week real quick. Just because I need to know, like I need to know this. All right, we're going to find out real quick. Ready?
It's awful.
I am not projected to win.
There you go.
I'm projected to lose by 20 points.
There you go.
But I still have, I still got some injuries down there. Not too bad, not too bad. And Chris Carson might come back. If he's healthy, I'm probably going to start him.
Okay.
So there you go.
There you go.
I'm
All
going
right,
to get
everybody.
there. You guys have a great weekend.
Have a good week.
Enjoy
We'll
some
talk to you next
football.
week.
Yep, we'll see you guys next week.